Jai Shri Krishna Krishna. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, dear devotees. And welcome to our Sunday Bhagavat Sravana program. We're so happy to see all of you, and thank you for taking the time. Is there anybody here who is new to Bhakti Center or new to this program? Okay, jokester. Where are you joining us from?
From Houston.
From Houston. So wonderful to have you. Hari Bol. What are your names?
I'm Chaitanya Chandra Das.
Chaitanya Chandra Das.
Devahuti.
Devahuti.
Kalyani.
Kalyani.
Gaba.
Gaba? Gaba. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So this is our Sunday program. The format will be, we just had some wonderful kirtan. Thank you so much for leading us in kirtan, Shani Prabhu. Then we will have a class given by, we're very blessed today, His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj will be here. We'll have arti and some additional kirtan, and then we will have prasadam in the back. So for now, I will introduce His Grace, His Holiness, who I'm sure will be here shortly, but we can all relish in his incredible bio. His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami is a senior teacher, editor, and a lifelong disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He took sannyasi in 1978, and he has helped publish nearly all of Srila Prabhupada's books. He has been involved in every facet of publishing that you can imagine within ISKCON. He served as editor-in-chief of Back to Godhead magazine. He was a director of both the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust and Bhaktivedanta Archives, and he has taught Krishna consciousness in over 70 countries and is the award-winning author of Vanity Karma. So we're very lucky to have him joining us today. We will give him just a few minutes to arrive and settle in. And that's what we'll do.
I thought I saw some saffron flash in the back, and I thought it was Maharaj was here, so I concluded he's here now. Yeah.
Wonderful. So we'll take just a moment, and then we'll get started.
Jai.
I see we have some devotees just joining us. Thank you so much for coming to our Sunday program. We are incredibly blessed and grateful to have His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami here to give class today. So please join me in giving 3 very loud Haribols to welcome our most special guest. Haribo! Haribo! Haribo!
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Kunja Bihari Prabhupada ki jai, Anand Koti Vaishnavin ki jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Thanks to Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Shri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Radha Kunti Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Jagannath Puri ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, all glories to the assembly, all glories to the assembly, all glories to the assembly, Gaur Premanande. I'm going to go till 12:30. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Shall we go word by word? And what is our standard word by word? Usual. Let's do it. Ekada, Hanur, Yamya, Vicharan, Gayam, Vane, Mragan, Anugata, Shantaha, Shruditas, Krishito, Prasham, Jalashayam, Chakshanaha, Pravivesha, Tam, Ashramam, Dadarsha, Munim, Asinam, Shantam, Lilitalochanam, maybe you want to put it here. Put that in. Ekada dhanur udyamya Vicharan mrigayam bane Mrigan anugata shranta Shudhitas trishito prasham Jalashayam achakshanaha Pravivesha tamashramam Tadarsha munimasinam Shantam militalochanam Ekada Tanurudyamya Vicharan mrigayam bane Mrigan anugata shranta Shruditas trishito vrisham Shalashayam achakshanaha Pravivesha tamashramam Tadarsha munimasinam Shantam militalochanam. Maybe we can chant the second verse.
Jalasayam achakshana.
Jalasayam achakshana.
Pravivesha
Pravivesha
Darsha Buddhivasivam.
Tadarsha munimasinam.
Shantam Militalocharam.
Shantam militalochanam.
Jalashayam chakshana.
Jalashayam Chakshana
Praviveshatamashramam
Praviveshatamashramam
Harshamunimasinam
Tadarshamunimasinam
Shantam Militalocharam
Shantam Militalocharam Jalashayam Chakshana Jalashayam Chakshana Praviveshatamashramam Praviveshatamashramam Darshamunimashinam Darshamunimasinam Shantam Militalocharam Shantam Militalocharam
Jalashayam Chakshana
Jalashayam Chakshana
Praviveshatamashramam
Praviveshatamashramam
Darshamunimasinam
Darshamunimasinam
Shantam
Shantam
Ladies? Any ladies? Any takers? Okay. Ekada. Once upon a time. Dhanuhu. Arrows and bow. Udyamya. Taking firmly. Vicharan. Following. Mrigayam. Hunting excursion. Vane, in the forest. Mrigan, stags. Anugataha, while following. Shrantaha, fatigued. Kshuditaha, hungry. Trishataha, being thirsty. Prasham, extremely. Jala Ashayam, reservoir of water. Achokshanaha, while searching for. Pravivesha, entered into. Tam, that famous. Ashramam, hermitage of Shamik Rishi. Tadarsha, saw. Munim, the sage. Asinam, seated. Shantam, all silent. Milita, closed. Lochanam, eyes. Is the sound all right? Can you? Yeah, okay. Once upon a time, Maharaj Parikshit, while engaged in hunting in the forest with bow and arrows, became extremely fatigued, hungry, and thirsty while following the stags. While searching for a reservoir of water, he entered the hermitage of the well-known Shamik Rishi and saw the sage sitting silently with closed eyes. Purport. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord is so kind to his pure devotees that in proper time he calls such devotees up to him and thus creates an auspicious circumstance for the devotee. Maharaj Parikshit was a pure devotee of the Lord, and there was no reason for him to become extremely fatigued, hungry, and thirsty, because a devotee of the Lord never becomes perturbed by such bodily demands. But by the desire of the Lord, even such a devotee can become apparently fatigued and thirsty just to create a situation favorable for his renunciation of worldly activities. Could we get a little water? One has to give up all attachment for worldly relations before one is able to go back to Godhead. And thus, when a devotee is too much absorbed in worldly affairs, the Lord creates a situation to cause indifference. The Supreme Lord never forgets his pure devotee, even though he may be engaged in so-called worldly affairs. Good. Sometimes the Lord creates an awkward situation, and the devotee becomes obliged to renounce all worldly affairs. The devotee can understand by the signal of the Lord, but others take it to be unfavorable and frustrating. Maharaj Parikshit was to become the medium for the revelation of Srimad Bhagavatam by Lord Sri Krishna, as his grandfather Arjuna was the medium for the Bhagavad Gita. Had Arjuna not been taken up with an illusion of family affection by the will of the Lord, the Bhagavad Gita would not have been spoken by the Lord himself, for the good of all concerned. Similarly, had Maharaj Parikshit not been fatigued, hungry, and thirsty at this time, Srimad Bhagavatam would not have been spoken by Srila Sukadeva Goswami, the prime authority of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a prelude to the circumstances under which Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken for the benefit of all concerned. The prelude therefore begins with the words, "Once upon a time." Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadhati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Raghunathan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lolita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Bodhi Priye Vanchakolpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you all for coming. My respects to all, to Satyaraj Prabhu, to everyone. Sri Prahlad, and all. Everyone is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the ordinary conditioned soul is under the control of his material energy. Tribir, Gunamaya, Bhavaya. Everyone is under the control of the three modes of material nature. But the devotee is different. He's also under the control of the Lord. No one is outside of the control of Krishna. But the devotee is controlled by the Lord's internal energy. And and others are controlled by the Lord's external energy. Finally, it's all the Lord's energy. He has one energy which he uses in different ways. But the energy that he uses for the devotee is, what shall we say, reflects the exchange of affection between the Lord and the devotee. The Lord is affectionate to the demons too, but he's affectionate by killing them, vinashaya chadushkritam. Not exactly what we think of as affection. Even the Lord doesn't think of it as affection. What is that? Name dveshyosti na priya. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. The Lord says, I'm equal to everyone. I don't have any favorites or any enemies. But ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayite teshu chapya. If someone engages in my devotional service, then he's in me and I'm in him. So there's an intimate relationship between the Lord and his devotees. And therefore the Lord manages things for the devotee through his internal energy, just as he manages things for the non-devotee through his external energy. Well, Prabhupada makes that point here. Kshudita trishito vrisham shranta. The king was exhausted, thirsty, hungry. So, and therefore we'll see in the coming verses that he becomes exasperated. He becomes exasperated and winds up insulting the sage. So, how is that possible for such a dharmic king as Parikshit Maharaj, the descendant of the Pandavas, who disciplined the personality of Kali? It's possible by Krishna's arrangement. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. We find that happening many times. The Jaya and Vijaya, the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha, insult the Kumaras and wind up getting sent to the material world. That shouldn't be happening. Not in Vaikuntha, not even in the gate, at the gate to Vaikuntha. These things shouldn't be going on. But it goes on because the Lord wanted it to go on. He had a plan, he had a pastime in mind, and so he sets things up. He sets things up in such a way as to do something that he wants to do. And the devotee becomes instrumental. He becomes instrumental in carrying out the desire of the Lord. The Pandavas were sent into exile. Someone may say, well, where's the affection for the devotee? Sending them into exile, making them lose their kingdom, having their wife insulted, being humiliated really by these Duryodhana and company. But Krishna had some grand plan to carry out, and he wanted the Pandavas to take part in that plan, or to play a role, a heroic role in that plan. So Krishna ultimately glorifies his devotees. And the point Prabhupada makes here also is that the Lord is expert at finishing off the business of material attachment that may still linger in some corner of the heart of the devotee, or which may even appear to be there externally. As Prabhupada writes, material attachment and spiritual advancement don't go well together. And therefore the path taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the path of Vairagya Vidya, knowledge and detachment. And detachment doesn't come so easy. It's easy to get attached. That's no trouble at all. But becoming detached, that's hard. That's hard. We have an affinity for material nature and material enjoyment, which has been going on since time immemorial. So attachment is like second nature for us. We take to it, as they say, the way a duck takes to water. The path of attachment is the default mode in this world and very easy to come to. But getting detached, that's hard. That's hard. To take up householder life is easy. To take up sannyas, leaving householder life, is generally hard. We don't see that it's popular. And sometimes even if one takes to it, one can't stick to it. So, and in the Varnashram system, there's 25 years dedicated to getting ready for sannyas, becoming fit for sannyas, undoing 25 years of family life. To undo 25 years of family life, you need another 25 years. It's not that we say, okay, we did that for 25 years, enough. No. Now we need another 25 years to undo that. We build up everything, our career, our network, our home, our family, our this or that, our position in society, our prestige, our reputation, our power, our influence, our spot, our turf. And now that we worked so hard for it, if we're told, okay, now give this up for Krishna, it's hard. Even we see, just small example, someone's attached to sports and attached to chanting Hare Krishna. So he goes on chanting Hare Krishna, but when the, what do they call that? When the World Cup comes around, it just can't resist watching it. What does it have to do with anything? It's all rubbish. But because we've had that attachment since we were, kids, we remain attached to it, or whatever our particular attachment may be. So, and those are the small attachments. The big attachment, of course, is to wife, children, home. Those are the mega attachments. If it's so hard to give up even the World Cup, what to speak of giving up my wife? family, my home, my bank balance. It's just hard, almost inconceivable for for us, for the wife to do without my husband. How is it possible? Can't let him go, can't let him go. What will happen? These attachments are very strong. Mama maya durataya, therefore Krishna says, my material energy is hard to get past. You know, I'm ready to leave this world and don't go. Please don't go. What will happen to me? So sometimes Krishna creates what Prabhupada calls an awkward circumstance. Sometimes he creates an awkward circumstance. He just moves things around in such a way that it becomes inevitable, that the devotee is practically pushed or just put in a situation where detachment becomes unavoidable or just becomes the thing to do. There's no other choice. Detachment, that's the only option here. Prabhupada writes from his personal experience, as he told us many times, that he was reluctant to leave family life. He was getting messages in dreams from his Guru Maharaj, take sannyas. And he was thinking, this is horrible, I can't do it. How could I do this? But yasyaham anugranami harishe tadhanam shanai. Krishna made his business a failure, so made things in such a way, arranged things in such a way that he, what's the word? Yes, I just had to accept that my material life has been smashed. Material life, not exactly material life, but my life of duty as a family man has been smashed. And so there's nothing to do but leave it behind. That's called kindness. Anugranami. When I especially favor someone, then I do that. The ordinary person can be secure in the knowledge that Krishna won't kick him out of his, won't pry away his material attachments. He'll be able to go on with a little Krishna consciousness and good helping of material interest. He can be a dharmic karmi, yes, and Krishna won't interfere. But when Krishna becomes especially disposed toward one, then this is what he does. He takes everything away, so that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is paraphrased by Kaviraj Goswami. Kaviraj Goswami says that if someone wants to achieve me, but he's holding on to material attachment, then he's a fool. Especially if he comes to me asking for some material blessings, he's a fool. But I'm not a fool. So why should I give him these paltry blessings that will just have him coming back to me again and again, asking for more? Instead, I'll take everything away from him so that he'll have nothing but the nectar of my lotus feet, and his life will be a complete success. That's Krishna's blessing. So that we see here. This is once upon a time. It's the beginning of a drama, which will unfold in this chapter, by which Parikshit Maharaj goes from being a great king to being the original hearer, to attaining perfection by hearing from Shukadeva Goswami, hearing Bhagavat Gita, Krishna Gita, and attaining perfection. Maybe I'll just stop here and see what kind of questions or comments you might have. Yes, Sripala.
Thank you, Maharaj, for reminding us. Thank you for reminding us of some uncomfortable truths. May I ask if sometimes for the advanced devotee renunciate, Krishna arranges also at the end of an advanced devotee at the end of life of Krishna arranges an embarrassing situation. If we should see it in this light.
Yeah, Krishna's, even if we see that a devotee is in embarrassment and difficulty, that's worse than death. Sambhavitasya cha kirtir mardanad atirichyate. So the devotee himself placed in such a situation, or the onlookers, can see it that way, that Krishna has somehow or other been exceedingly kind to this devotee. Or it's not the kind of kindness we hope for. It may not be the kind of kindness we hope for, but it's a test for the devotee. And when the devotee passes the test, he becomes glorious. And thoroughly detached, even to the, whatever prestige might have accrued to him from being a great devotee and a stalwart. If Krishna smashes that, then there's really nothing, and you're really pounded. And what is there to hang on to in this material world? So it's, what's the word? Undesirable, unpleasant, not recommended, unfortunate. But for the devotee, even misfortune becomes fortune. And for the non-devotee, even great fortune is misfortune. If he becomes king of the world, he'll just misuse his position for sense enjoyment and become notorious. But a devotee, even if he's turned into a beggar, or worse than a beggar, that sadhureva, he's proven to be a sadhu. Kshipram bhavati dharma. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I can relate with one's reality being smashed to bits and things being taken away, without getting into the details, of course. What happens when you fear more of that, but you're in a few different places? There's part of you, there's part of me that understands, or is starting to understand how it could be, and has been a great blessing to have those material losses and changes, because you discover God in the way that we are. We're here to do that. But there's parts of me that fear that there's more loss.
Yeah, we just got tested, we just got smashed by Krishna's mercy. Is he going to do this to me again?
Yeah. What is the best way to internally deal deal with that in real time?
Well, how do we deal with that? Well, one way is by fear. As you said, this is how we respond. We become, is he going to do this to me again? So fear is good. To be Prabhupada one time said, the trouble with my disciples is they're not sufficiently afraid of Maya. When Junior Haridas was rejected by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for even glancing lustfully at a woman, it said that all of Mahaprabhu's associates became very much afraid of having anything to do with illicit connections with women. So fear is good. Where, how do I overcome my fear? No, keep them, they're good. But not stupid fears. Fears of forgetting Krishna, that fear is very good. Fear of being attracted by Maya. If we're not, we're going to get in trouble. So fear is desirable. Even fear is considered, how to overcome your fears. For the Krishna conscious person, fear is also healthy. Just to be afraid of the appropriate things. But fear is good. So that's one thing. And another thing is surrender. That, just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Marabi Rakabi Yoichthatahar. You can kill me or you can protect me. That's up to you. I'll be grateful not to be killed, of course, not to be bashed again, but finally it's your business. That's surrender. The best thing is to be surrendered to Krishna. Then, if for a surrendered soul, what is that in the Bhagavad Gita? Tulya nindatma samstutahi, tulya priya priyo dhiras tulya nindatma sam. For the Krishna conscious person, fame and infamy, the desirable and the undesirable, it all becomes the same. Because his business is to be engaged in the service of Krishna. So that's what he wants. You can smash me, or you can glorify me, you can do this to me, you can do that to me. Just please engage me in your service. Please always keep me engaged at your lotus feet, because that's the safe position. If I'm in glory, it's dangerous. And if I'm smashed, it's painful. But if I can be engaged in the service of Krishna's lotus feet, then my position is good, regardless. So the best course under all circumstances is to be a soul surrendered at the lotus feet of Krishna. Then everything will be all right. Just for further thought, Prabhupada prayed to Krishna, you can make me a success or a failure as you like. Who wants to be a failure? Nobody wants to be a failure. Go through so much trouble and then fail. But Prabhupada prayed to Krishna, if you want to have me fail, all right, then I'll fail. And if you want to make me successful, then I'll be successful, but I'm your sold out servant. So finally it's your business what you want to do. Is that okay?
It's beautiful. I have one more question, if you don't mind. Sometimes I feel God is so close, and I'm sure that He is, that He's, having this experience right with me and knows exactly where I'm at emotionally. And so I wonder, how does He feel about the ambivalence? Like,
How does He feel about?
My ambivalence.
How does He feel about your
At
ambivalence?
the end of the day, I may surrender and resurrender, but what about my doubts or my fears throughout the day or throughout the course of events? At the end, I say, oh my God, that loss was a huge blessing. I get it now. But what about all of the interim moments where I wasn't so sure, and I was maybe a little mad about it or something, like, is he cool with that? Like, excuse me for saying it that way. Like, is that just part of the process? Does he get offended that we have this ambivalence along the way?
My first thought is that he doesn't take it very seriously. You know, we have all these big dramas about everything. And Krishna can look at it from his point of view and say, Maya, you know, we get a summary, you know, executive summary. The person, the big executive, isn't going to get into all the things about, you know, why the employee was late on Tuesday and why this and why that. He just gets the summary. He doesn't have to go through all the twists and turns, you know, where he just looks at the balance sheet and says, okay, we're losing money. He doesn't have to know, you know, how much we lost by this and how much we lost by that. He just looks at the bottom line and says, okay, you know, this unit's losing money. So does Krishna have to get into all of the, because we think it's a big deal, Krishna has to think it's a big deal also? You know, this person, my neighbor was mean to me, and you know, and I kind of lost it, and blah, 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 you know, the day's drama. Does Krishna have to get into all that stuff? How petty is it? So that's one thought. Prabhupada gave the example concerning Arjuna. You know, Arjuna is, what is that? Shoka samvigna manasa. He sinks down into his chariot, his mind overcome by lamentation, by grief. And Krishna, prahasaniva bharata, he's smiling and speaking to Arjuna. We won't bring in Vishwanath Chakravarti. He's smiling between the armies. And Prabhupada gave the example that a child is having a nightmare. And, you know, the tiger's eating me, and, you know, whatever it is, and the child can't, you know, he's crying and crying. And the parents come in, and that's all right, and they're smiling. You know, why are they smiling? Because they know it's just a nightmare. They don't take it that, what are we going to do about this tiger? What are we going to do to protect our child? They just know that it's a nightmare, and it's not, it has no substance to it. So they just reassure the child, that's all right, that's all right. And they're gently, prasaniva, gently smiling. Is that okay?
Yes. Thank you so much.
There's a question here.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. From time to time we see this element of hunting.
Yes.
The question is asked why hunting may appear to be a violent act, yet we see advanced personalities like Maharaj Parikshit is engaged in that.
It's the business of why was a devotee like Parikshit Maharaj engaged in hunting, which appears to be and is violent. It's the business of Kshatriyas to be violent. That's their occupation, is violence. I passed a police truck today, police car. What is it? Courtesy, professionalism, and respect. So to understand, you know, is that all they do? They're just courteous and professional and respectful. You have to unpack that term, professionalism. Professionalism entails being ready to, you know, shoot you if the need arises. You know, spray you down with pepper spray, or you know, shoot a taser at you, or whatever the professional circumstances require. Because finally, the business of the police is to use or threaten to use violence, or pose the threat. They don't have to threaten, but you know that violence could be used against me. Force, even lethal force, could be used against me if I disobey the law seriously enough. So the business of a police officer is violence, finally. Maybe he's, I spoke to one cop, he said, the weapon I like to use the most is my mouth. You know, chew someone out and then they back off. So, not that he has to immediately pull out his heavy-duty artillery. Anyway, his business is violence, his occupation is violence. For a soldier, that's what he's there for, to be violent. And a king, what is he called in this country? Commander-in-Chief of the armed forces. His business is to be ready to use violence. Our commanders-in-chief in this country stay safely behind, safely away from any confrontations, military confrontations. But a king like Parikshit was ready to lead the army personally. So for that, you have to be ready to be violent. You have to be in shape for violence also. And therefore, hunting is one of the occupations for a kshatriya. He has to keep in shape for shooting his bow, shooting his arrows. He has to be ready to be violent. And so the kshatriyas would practice hunting under restrictions. Is that okay? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says every occupation has some fault to it.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for giving thoughts. My question is, we see in this context, and perhaps in other contexts like Indra, where he's requiring his pride to be shattered. My curiosity is that always required? Do we always
No, it's not always required. Krishna doesn't smash everyone as needed. It's not that Krishna only has one. He's not a one-trick pony, as they say. You know, that he only knows how to do one thing. He can smash in grand style, as with Indra. He can be subtle about it. Perhaps he doesn't need to smash at all. It's entirely up to Krishna. Yovichatohar. It's your business what you want to do. We should try to be, as they say, ahead of the curve. How can I engage in the service of Krishna in such a way that he won't need to smash me to get me to do this? Let me do it voluntarily. Why should I wait to be smashed?
That's more what he did with Lord Brahma.
Yes.
He didn't smash Brahma.
Yeah.
He just took the places of the cows and the gopas, and Brahma came to his senses.
With Brahma, he didn't, of course but he was subtle about it. He didn't drag him through the mud. He just let him know that your power is like the power of fire during the day or snow at night. It's insignificant. Yeah. He was more gentle with Brahma. Do we stop at this point? What's our order here? You tell me what to do.
We can, it's only 2 minutes. It might be a little, maybe I can ask one quick question. So on this point of renunciation, which was kind of key, I'm just wondering because it sort of often comes across in Bhagavad Gita that it's not just about taking sannyas, it's about the principle of sannyas and renunciation. And we see that Arjuna didn't necessarily go on to take sannyas, but the whole point was that he actually continues to act in a mood of renunciation rather than renunciation of the actual material
Mm-hmm.
element.
renounce the things rather than engaging in.
Well, two things are there. That ultimately, anashrita karma palam, the person who performs his duty is the actual sannyasi, or in the more advanced point of view, the person who's fully attached to Krishna and not attached to material things is the true sannyasi, not the person who just says, I renounce this, I renounce that, I renounce this and that. No, the person who's addicted to Krishna, he's the real sannyasi. On the other hand, if we invoke that as the banner under which we'll keep all of our material attachments, that's not very good either. You know, to pull out my earlier thing, well, you know, I'm watching the cricket match for Krishna. Krishna says, you know, that the person who, you know, this is my sannyas. You know, I could be doing other things, but I've given this up so that I can learn something from the cricket match to use in devotional service. And in a similar way, I can invoke a wide variety of excuses and pretexts to justify my material attachments. And on the basis of Bhagavat Gita, we have our proof text that is, you know, this is sannyas. To remain deeply immersed in attachment to all of my material setup is actually sannyas. So at least in Varnashram, there's a gradual progression to help us that's favorable for Krishna consciousness, involving brahmachari life, grihastha life, vanprastha life, and sannyas in the mature stage. Now, it may be that sometimes higher considerations are there than Varnashram. Advaita Acharya in his old age didn't take sannyas, but he was totally surrendered at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But generally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. He himself gives up family life. And there are so many messages about this in Srimad Bhagavatam, which, had they been unimportant, Prabhupada wouldn't have brought up.
His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for such a wonderful class, reminding us that affection and kindness can take on a lot of different forms. We will now have Arti and Kirtan, so if you could please help stack the cushions and fold the chairs, and we'll be back with some more announcements after. Thank you so much.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasad Radha Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Krishna
Sarvasata Shri Shri Vallabhai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Shri Rup Shri Sanatan Bhattacharya Shri Jiva Gopal Bhattana Swaminasa Goswami Prabhupada Ki Etsugaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopina Shavakan Radha Kundi Govarna Ki Nanda Devi Ki Nanda Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulsi Maharani Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Nanda Dham Ki Rajagumi Shri Vrindavan Ki Shri Shri Radha Murlinara Ki Gaura Chandra Ki Shri Prabhupada Ki Sarita Bhaktivinoda Ki Sai Gaur Premananda Ki all glory to the Son of devotees. All glory to the Son of devotees. All glory to the Son of devotees. All glory to Shri Shri Guru Bhagavat.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Jai
Thank you again, dear devotees, for joining us for our Sunday program. And a big thank you to His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj for leading us in our beautiful class today. Just a few announcements. This program happens every Sunday. Next week we will have our very own Sri Prabhu giving class. Looking forward to that. We have the Urban Devi, their next event is called Healing from the Inside Out. It will feature Nartaki Radha Devi Dasi. That will be next Saturday, July 20th from 11 to 12:30. There is a link you can sign up on the Bhakti Center website or in the WhatsApp group or Temple newsletter, which if you are not subscribed to either of those things, please let Bhava Bhakti know, and she will get you hooked up. Another announcement around 26 2nd Avenue. Hopefully everybody has had a chance to see all of the incredible renovations that have gone on there. Shout out to Jayadvaita Prabhu in the audience for helping coordinate. Yes, you're here, so we're going to the new opening hours are Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. There are Prabhupada meditations Wednesday evenings from 6:30 to 7:30. There's a Bhagavat Gita discussion Saturday 5:30 to 8 p.m. And then a Rashi Sangha 1 to 4 on Sundays. Final announcements. This is a community-run program. So in the back, when you're taking prasadam, you'll see we have a basket and QR codes. If you feel inspired to donate to help us continue to put these programs on for you, we would so appreciate it. And before letting you go, we have a lot of exciting festivals coming up. I'm going to pass the mic over to Jayadvaita Prabhu to share more about that with us.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for that beautiful segment. Thank you very much to Bhakti Jenna for her wonderful service as MC here So, yes, we have a divine storm of nectar coming for August, so I just want to plant the seeds for the festivities so everyone is aware. So starting on the 4th of August, which is Ekadashi, we will begin our Julian Yatra Festival. For those of you who don't know, this is an amazing and beautiful, wonderful opportunity to swing their lordships. So it's this will happen on the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, weather permitting, upstairs on the roof. So there's nothing quite like the Bhakti Center being on the roof in the summer with their lordships and kirtan and so many beautiful things. That will be in the evenings. You can check on the website as we go forward. A few days it will be from like 7:15 until around 8. Then on the Thursday it will be part of the Thursday night kirtan. And on the Friday, which is Friday the 8th, it will be part of the Balaram Jayanti festival. So that leads right into the appearance day of Lord Balaram, which will be a festival that will take place on Friday from about 5 in the afternoon until 8, 9 in the evening, so like that. So that will be the 8th of August. And then moving on from that, a couple of weeks later, or 1 week later, we have the appearance day of, who comes after Balaram? Oh, the spring person, that's right. Well, Balaram's also a spring personality. Got it. But yes, we have Krishna Janmashtami. Hello! So this year we're trying to manifest Krishna Janmashtami in a much more extravagant manner. So it is happening on a Saturday, which means it's an ample opportunity for everyone to come and spend the whole day here, if you would like, celebrating Shri Krishna Janmashtami. So we'll have a full day of festivities. But this is a special festival that goes all the way up until midnight. So then there's midnight darshan and lots of prasadam fasting all day if you can make it. And then the next day is the humble appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace. And there will be festivities here in the morning time. And also we're collaborating with 26th Avenue, Matchless Gifts, to make sure that there is a connection. And probably Matchless Gifts will be open all day for devotees to go there and also have darshan and offer their homages to Srila Prabhupada in the place where it all began here in New York. And then 2 weeks later, on the 31st, the last day of August, all the festivals happening in August this year, we have the Divine Appearance Day of Srimati Radharani, Suradastami. So that will be on a Sunday. So instead of Bhagavat Shravan, we're going to keep the festivities in the evening, and that will start again at around maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon and go until night. So all of this will be announced in full on the website, and we'll continue to announce. Please sign up if you're not part of the updates group. Keep an eye on the newsletters or different places like that, but I just wanted to plant the seeds for August so nobody goes anywhere outside of New York in August, okay? No holidays, no vacations. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.